Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to yet another Against the Storm update preview live stream. Sorry for the delay, we had some tiny technical issues as always. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me well. Type in the chat if there are any problems with audio, with video, let us know. Yeah, and thanks for joining us once again. Please let us know if you've watched all the previous live streams. Raise your hand in the chat. Okay, so my name is Luke or Łukasz, and I'm here with Aaron, our producer. Today we are going to talk about Rainpunk update part 2. So please stay with us because we have some great things to show, including one that everyone was waiting for, or maybe will not show everything, but yeah, we'll give you some hints. So yeah, hi Ron. Ron Empire is currently one of the top streamers of Against the Storm. You should definitely watch his channel. Yeah, so yeah, Aaron, let's do this. Maybe let's do a little test if people can hear you. No, what happened, but of course they cannot hear you. So we cannot hear me. Great. Every time we press go live, everything we tested just goes to trash. Okay, so while I handle the microphone, how about we move on and show one of the main features of the update. Okay, hello. So tomorrow when you enter the game, in the right bottom corner you will be able to see this magical button with species vote. And we don't want to spoil all the fun, so we pixelated the species that you will be able to vote for. We said that there will be 2, but then we had so many great concepts, we couldn't decide, and we didn't want to, reduce your choices. So now you have 3. Tomorrow you will be able to vote for one of 3 species. And so we made this little preview. Now is the time to type your suggestions in the chat. What do you think is species number 1, number 2, and number 3? Let us know. This will be interesting to know what are your guesses. And once again, tomorrow when you open this window, you will be able to see the previews of the species and some text to give you a little context, like a little bit more about the species. Okay, so Aaron, I think everyone already had the time to take some screenshots. Let's move on and maybe start a training expedition and show some of the things that will be available in tomorrow's update. Okay, so let's start with forest mysteries. There will be new forest mysteries. Okay. Yeah, sorry I will be silent for a while. I'm gonna test Aaron's mic. Meanwhile, you can see new forest mysteries. Turtles, platypus, and wolf. This is one of the one of the guesses, or horses, axolots, frogs, raven, birds, frogs, penguin. Yeah, those are good guesses. Cat girls, of course. I was sure there will be. You will be guessing there will be cat girls, bats, frogs, platypuses, ducks, purple frog, and spider. Okay, so I apologize. I will be back in a minute. I want you to hear Aaron and his beautiful voice and what he has to say about the upcoming update. So please give us one more minute, and we'll set things right, okay? So we'll be right back.
Czekaj.
No.
Halo. Jest, działa.
O, okej. Okej. Zasłałeś mnie? Halo, raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć.
Okay, I think we're back. Let's do a big test. Aaron, say a few words.
Hello, sorry for the trouble this stream has caused. It's a bit weird. Nothing's going to plan today.
Okay, so please, please confirm if you were able to hear everything. Okay, yeah, people are saying hi, hey, Ballista Freak. Thank you, Schubert, for additional info. Okay, Aaron is audible. Nice.
Yay.
Okay, so Aaron,
Yeah.
how about you tell us a little bit more about those forest mysteries?
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Hi again. Sorry for the break. So in this update, you will get some cool stuff with Rainpunk Part 2. It's basically an extension to Rainpunk. And to play a bit more with this Rainpunk and Blightrot thing, we added new forest mysteries. And I'm here in the training expedition window because it's the easiest way to show you all the new things, basically. So there are 3 new positive ones and 3 negative ones. As you could see before, it's the golden dust, which basically gives you clearance water whenever you gather drizzle water during the drizzle. That's going to be important when we talk about the rain collector in a second. You may remember heavy drops. It's still in the game. It's a forest mystery right now, but we revamped it, and it's now affecting drizzle water collection instead of spark dew, which we're gonna get to in a second. And saturated air, which gives you plus to global resolve for using basically rainwater during the drizzle in rain engines. If some of you don't really know what train engines are, what Rainpunk is, we'll get to that in a bit. And the negative ones, the more interesting ones, in my opinion, is the blightrot infection. When villagers die, they generate blightrot cysts in in the settlement. There's the vanishing water, which basically means you use more water than normally in rain engines during the storm. And you lose like a random type of water, regardless of what type of water you use. And blight from the sky, which is basically every year a small amount of blightrot appears in your settlement, and yeah, it's gonna be harder with every year. So I just chose 2 positive ones, 3 negative ones here in this training expedition. And we can start, I think, a small, short game. We won't play it to the fullest, we're just gonna show you what there is. Let's just keep it like the normal rates, maybe a short game, quick game. No, let's make it normal. Yeah, favorite species, why not? Bye-bye, Harpies.
Okay, now there's nothing on the screen.
Wait.
Cursed stream, that's right. Today is not the best day for streaming.
Okay, something broke.
Oh. We apologize. Again.
Oopsie.
So, give us 1 more minute. The last time, I promise. Let's go back to Be Right Back screen, and I promise we'll be right back. Sorry, once again. I think we're back. Yeah, it's a cursed day, it's a cursed stream, but I hope it's the last of the issues today. Yeah, give us some positive words, chat. Okay, without further ado, let's do this, Aaron.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time today, probably. Yeah, let's do this before another technical issue arises. Okay, so we've shown you some of the forest mysteries that are coming in tomorrow's update, but the main thing is rain collector. Probably that's probably the most important thing in tomorrow's update. So, Aaron, how about you just sum up what happened in Rainpunk update part 1 and then move on to the new one, to the Rainpunk update part 2 with rain collectors and all the stuff.
Yeah, so you released the first part of Rainpunk like 2 weeks ago, and the system, we got a lot of feedback from you guys about the system in terms of its like if the water usage is needed, if it has enough rewards in it, if it's worth it. I don't. Thanks. If how it works with other systems in the game and so on, plus Blight Rot. And there were also some thematic issues like what about a world where always rains? Why are there geysers and not rain collectors? We named the previous update part 1 because we had some ideas for the future and we didn't have enough time to implement them. So that's why we split the update into multiple parts. And so now in Rainpunk part 2 we revamped the rain collector basically. it works as the name suggests. It collects rain. Which it's the same rain as in geysers, basically. So to build a rain collector, it's going to be a bit more expensive right now, a bit more parts, 2 planks, and they're going to make them for me here and build it. And so the rain collector works in the same way as a geyser pump would. So it has a tank, it produces a type of rainwater, but the water type is decided based on the season you're in. So during the drizzle, you'll collect drizzle water. During the clearance, you'll collect clearance water, and so on and so on. This way, you will be able to start like using engines and like utilizing the rainwater a bit earlier, even if you don't really have a geyser. It's not as powerful as a geyser, so the water amounts are lower. The speed is a bit lower, but at the same time, yeah, you will be able to use it basically at the very early stage of the game, so to say. There is also a new type of building in the game right now in this update. It's called the Advanced Rain Collector, which is basically bigger, better version of the normal rain collector, and it's collecting more water and faster. We also, in the big sense of the word, we rebalance the system, so you produce more water in general from geysers and from collectors. You can use it faster, and the prices on buildings, like on installing rain engines, are simply lower. So it's going to be a bit easier to start with the system. We have also some changes to the UI, the rain pumps, the geyser pumps, but I'm not sure if you want to get into that right now or later, Luke. But maybe I can cheese the game and show you a geyser here nearby and see how this in the UI looks.
So, by the way, if at any point you have any questions, please let us know in the chat. We'll do our best to answer as many of them as possible. We'll be talking about many things. So if you have any questions, something's not clear, then let us know, and we have some time to share more. Back to you, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm trying just to find a geyser here, and lucky streamer luck. Let's see how it looks here. It's the same as before, but we can build a pump here, and the first change you can see here is the icon related to the geysers that wasn't here before. The same thing, and if I click B, the resource overlay now displays the geysers also, so I can build my pump here. And the next change you will be able to see here is this thing, which is the star icons. So the grade, the tier of the recipe. So here you have like 1, and the advanced collector that's going to be 2 stars, and the geyser produces this rainwater based 3 stars as a tank here. And the other big change, one of the bigger ones, is upgrades. You can buy upgrades for geyser pumps. You can only have 1 upgrade per level here, but I think this first one is going to be pretty interesting for a lot of you, because one of the issues we had, the feedback we've gotten in the version right now, was that the rain collector, the geyser pump was using like your workforce in the settlement, which wasn't really perfect because it was a lot less like people to work on different stuff in your settlement. Plus, it wasn't really worth it because the bonuses were too small. So right now you can buy an automaton for your geyser pump, which will a Rainpunk robot basically, which will work all the time, don't rest, doesn't need to eat, and so on. It's only available in this building, so it won't like go out and work in another building. But the drawback for this is that this worker doesn't have the crit chance of normal workers. So if you have like perks and so on, that somebody can have a 10% chance of producing double yields or more, then this guy here doesn't have that. So it's something for something basically. And we can, as you can see, buy it for pipes and for wildfire essence. which is the resource used mostly for hearth construction, but as this is an autonomous like Rainpunk robot, it needs like this spark of consciousness, the same as the white fire in your hearth. So that's why this resource is used here. And based on that, we also rebalanced this resource a bit. So the hearths, the small hearths and so on are a bit more expensive right now. As you can see, they cost 2 wildfire essences, but also some of the rewards in Glade Events and orders have been rebalanced to like counteract that, to be more accessible. Plus the trade value of this good has gone down, so it's going to be a bit easier to buy.
Okay, so how about the first question? Can we still completely ignore water and have no blight rot?
Completely ignore? Yeah, sure. I mean, you could, but not interact with blight rot. That's gonna be harder to achieve in this new version, because that's something I wanted to talk about later on. But we also, in this update, we add new Glade Events. We added a new prestige modifier, which basically try to push you into blight rot a bit more. So a lot of the changes we did were inspired by trying to give blight rot passively to you, but not like passively like it was before, but externally basically. So if you find an event which can cause something in your settlement that produces blight rot, or blight rot spawning every year, like here, or with the 2 new forest mysteries. So it's gonna be, you still can ignore Rainpunk, but at the same time it's now way more valuable to use it basically. At the same time, there's gonna be moments where you basically like blight rot comes by itself into your settlement because you discovered a glade or you have a seasonal effect, and then you're gonna have to fight it regardless if you use rain engines or not.
So to sum up, you cannot completely ignore blight rot, because from Prestige 2, the cyst will spawn every 3 years, right?
Yeah. So this is the new Prestige modifier. This is one of the things that in this update also is that there were 2 Prestige modifiers in Prestige 2 and I think 9, where blight rot would spawn, blight rot spawn rates and corruption rates were increased. And we thought that that's a bit, unnecessary. We left one of those effects, like the increased corruption rate and spawn rates there, and the other we replaced with a new effect, which is every 3rd clearance, blight rot will appear in your settlement. So you have to prepare for that, and it's not going to be something that you can just ignore on Prestige runs from Prestige 2. Yeah, so...
Okay, so one more question. Are geysers destroyable now?
I'm gonna destroy this geyser pump. Ruin my game here. And I can also destroy this geyser right now. This is basically a usability issue. There were some people who, because this change, a version of this update was available in the experimental version of the game, and I'm again very grateful for the people who played that version to help us balance this iteration of the system. But some people talked about how if geysers should be destroyable or not, if it's a fun little challenge to build around them, or if it's basically usability to destroy them. And you can destroy most things in our game, like aside from Glade Events, like resource nodes. If you want, you can just do that. You lose the resources, which is enough of a penalty, so we just allow that to make it a bit easier for you to lay out your city and play around it.
Okay, so a question from Ron Empire. How are water units used or consumed per building, per engine setting?
Yeah, so this was this isn't really too. The rain collector is now collecting stormwater. Exactly. So how are yeah, so that doesn't really change from the previous update. So basically you have this indication here if you start to use water. Wait.
So maybe I guess this could also the question was also about how often does a single water unit is used. So yeah, but let's go on through the entire engine setting, because this is also related to the whole of Rainpunk updates, and maybe some people don't know it, didn't use it yet. So let's go through all of it.
Okay, so the main rule here is that this engine uses water based on production. This engine uses water based on like workplaces, workers assigned, because this increases production speed and then double yield chance. So you can see, if you hover over this engine name, you can see the more or less how much water you will consume in per minute, how many units. There aren't exactly like numbers for every level, because that's gonna change. Sorry. So yeah, these numbers they will change based on what they're producing. So you can see now that the bar goes faster, and this unit should now update. And here the same thing, 1 unit per. And this isn't really exact, but that's just one thing. That didn't really change from the previous version. But one thing that did change here is the blade rod bar here. So previously we had blade rod footprints here next to the production stars, the recipe tiers, and now they're gone basically, because it was a very tricky calculation. Because one thing, as Ron asked, about how much water am I using right now, and the other thing was how much blade rod am I producing. And the other side of this equation was harder, because there was the blade rod footprint. So every recipe had like 5% per minute, 10% per minute, and so on. Plus then you had the blade rod rate here, which basically said the base footprint of the recipe is then multiplied by this rate, and this rate depends on how fast you're using water and so on. So it was all very, very complicated. We simplified it basically to be blade rod progress. So you can see in this tooltip that 1 blade rod cyst will be spawned for every 32 units of rainwater use, and the progress is indicated there. So once this bar hits the max, a blade rod cyst will appear on this building, and then it's gonna go back to 0, and it's gonna increase again and again. Until this building has 3 cysts, and then it's gonna start appearing on different buildings in your settlement, on additional buildings in your other things that changed here, basically nothing else changed. The other balance thing that we changed is the bonuses. Efficiency is now 50% speed instead of 40, and the chance for double yields is now 25% instead of 20.
Yeah, so this also answers one of the questions. Since blade rod causes an additional workforce upkeep to mitigate the cysts, what is the main advantage of the water system? More output per raw resource. So this is something that you've already answered or started answering.
Yeah, there is the speed and output, but the other thing is also now that you can buy automatons for your geyser pumps. It's also like a less strain on your workforce, as in the version that's on the main branch right now. So we increased the bonuses, we increased the amount of water you produce basically and can hold, to make it a bit more easier to get into the system and to be less of a strain to your settlement to start using. And one thing with blade rod and with the prestige modifier, the base generation rate for blade rod was increased. So we removed the prestige 2 modifiers, which was the more blade rod generates from production, and we instead added this effect of blade rod cyst generating every 3rd clearance. But we also upped the basic the basic rate for Blight Rot on smaller difficulties, on lower difficulty. So you have to keep in mind that it'll appear faster right now on Viceroy and then Veteran difficulty.
Okay, so another question. You mentioned updating Glade's balance. Are small Glades becoming more valuable? Seems like good players agree dangerous, forbidden are better and always avoid small Glades.
Yeah, the one of the... I'm not sure if I'm gonna answer this correctly, but we know that the small Glades are less attractive than the big ones, and that's okay because, you know, oh, they opened some. Because then here you have the dangerous things and resources and more rewards. And we are aware that players, the more advanced players, are using the small Glades only like as a last resort or on lower difficulties. And that's mainly because of the hostility. But for now we're hesitant to really like lower the hostility on smaller Glades, and instead we want to work a bit more on making them viable. So that's why a lot of green geysers are on small Glades. There are also some other ideas floating around about the caches we want to change at some point, maybe. I'm not promising anything, but you want to find a way to also make small Glades viable, not only because of geysers. And again, my colleagues from the team are watching this stream. I can't promise anything. They're gonna kill me if I say too much. But
it's all recorded. Too late.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything more. But we would like to increase the rewards from small Glades, or make them like a normal choice you make during your gameplay, and not nerf their hostility and make them basically like free. We would like to increase the rewards maybe from it, and that's why the geysers are there. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm looking at your questions now. Yeah. Nice one. Wait, you can destroy resource nodes? Yes, yes, you can. You can destroy resource nodes, and now you can also destroy rainwater geysers. Okay, Aaron, how about we move on to some other new feature? We've been talking about the rain collector. We've been talking generally about water balance. I don't know if you want to mention something or add something to the water balance and recipes, how the new update is going to affect all the recipes.
So that's one important thing. I forgot about that. So the change in the rain collector basically means that Spark Dew as a recipe is gone. The resource is gone from the game. It had no real place in the game in the first place. It was a bit of a gimmick. It was used for crystallized dew, which was nice. It was sometimes used for some events, and sometimes it was used to... Oh, I'm not paying attention here, the game too much. And it sometimes was used to solve Glade Events and to sell to traders because, yeah, you need some additional money, basically. And that was a weird place, and after introducing the Geyser system and all this stuff, it became even weirder to use this resource, because there was like rainwater, but there's also Spark Dew and what's about. But in the end, we decided to remove that, and so crystallized dew is now made from rainwater, from drizzle rainwater, from recipe. And yeah. So right now it can be made from as you can see, stormwater, clearance water, and drizzle water, plus the other ingredients are the same. So if you have a geyser pump or a collector, you can still make this. It's even a bit easier right now with the geyser pumps to create metal with that. But yeah, and the same thing goes for most other things where SparkDew was used. So in some events, it was possible to solve them with SparkDew, mainly the, I think, Rainpunk or fire-based events. And in those, we basically exchange it for yeah, traders no longer sell this resource and so on, as you might expect. Amber and this rare recipe for amber, which almost nobody has, can be made instead of with SparkDew. Uses again the rainwater, all types. And as a general rule, previously on dangerous glades, you could use sometimes in some events SparkDew, and in forbidden events also. Right now, it's more of a rule that dangerous events will use like the drizzle or clearance waters, and the forbidden events will more often require you to.
Okay, so another question. Do you collect statistics on which cornerstones are picked how often? Maybe I can answer this. Yes, we collect some anonymized, non-identifiable data, including the cornerstone picks. So we more or less, well, we exactly know what's the pick rate of cornerstones. And yeah, from time to time, almost every 2 weeks, every update, we check the data. We see if some cornerstones need some buffs or changes. So yeah, we have some basic data about that help us balance the game.
As Luke said, we collect some statistics on, which is helpful because I mean, feedback on Discord and on Reddit is helpful for what cornerstones are used, but all the other times some people just don't share their feedback, so it's good to see which works they choose. We don't have they're not very detailed statistics, so we don't have like info about your current situation in your settlement. It's more of a just preference thing, but it helps balance in the. So yeah, I'm just in the storm. Light would just start to open. Yeah, so we might go into some other stuff. I don't know what's next on the list to look from the update.
Maybe one cool question. How workers transfer water to production buildings, in baskets or what?
Yeah, so there are basically two. It's a weird concept, but there are two ways water is transported. So basically, it's most of the time it's in the tank here. So the water tank, and if it comes to like powering buildings, production buildings. Let's say the fantasy here is that it's connected through pipes underground. It's always transported. We tried out some ideas about physically transporting the water to buildings, but that would drain your village or settlement even more on workers, and that wasn't really pleasant.
Yeah, so for example, in one of the previous updates, we added a gate under which you can place paths. So this was actually a result of us testing the pipes in the game. How would it work if you were able to collect to build pipe systems? Based on our internal tests, it didn't work well, but as a result, you can now place gates over roads.
Yeah, there were some ideas about physically transporting it and building pipes around the town, but right now, if you produce something out of the water, like crystallized dew here. It's transported in barrels like everything else in the game from the main store or other storage.
Another interesting question: is there a way to see what water type building is using other than clicking on it?
I mean, sorry. Yes, it is. So here you can see in the Rainpunk overlay on tab, you can see the name of the thing where the engines are installed and the water icon. This particular building,
Any plans to add such information on bottom HUD when you select the building?
On the bottom HUD, I don't understand.
Yeah, never mind. I think that answers the question. Yeah, so there's one more cool thing that we haven't talked about yet, and this is the new Glade events. There are how many new Glade events coming in this update?
I think there are five new Glade events. Most of them are based around, guessed it, Blight Rot, and they're pretty exciting. I think they're the best events we did in a long time. New events. We could try to find them in this game, but maybe we could also simply spawn them by def command. I'm gonna see if we can find them in the nearest two glades or so. If not, then I'm gonna spawn.
Yeah, and in the meantime, a quick announcement or like a reminder: if this is your first update, then you probably don't know the drill. What's going to happen tomorrow when we release the update is that the update will force finish your current settlement. This is to prevent various bugs that could happen when we add new content to your old save. So tomorrow between 2 p.m. UTC and 4 p.m. UTC, there's going to be an update, and if you have a ongoing settlement that you want to finish because you're working towards a deed or just for pleasure, then we strongly suggest you do it before tomorrow's update, because otherwise it will be forced finished. You will get Citadel resources in return. Oh yeah, we can see something cool already. You will get Citadel resources in return, but you won't get deeds, for example. So if you were working towards deeds, we strongly recommend finishing your settlement today. Yeah, so what you can see is Blightrot Cauldron, one of the new Glade events. I think it looks amazing. It's scary. It's twisted version of the regular cauldron. Aaron, want to say something about it?
It's terrifying. Yeah, so some of the events, the new events are Blightrot versions of the old ones, of the existing ones. Some are new. Yeah, this one is, yeah, you can see the normal, cauldron here, and his lovely little friend, which is way more terrifying. So, as I said before, most of the events are based on like water usage, on Blightrot. So you will have to, because of those events, you will have to engage with the system a bit more if you find them, and maybe have some purging fire prepared sometime. Yeah, maybe you can find one more if you're lucky. But yeah, I'm using def commands here, so no worries.
Some lovely comments here. Kraken Cauldron. Oh god, it's disgusting. I love it. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. As if the regular cauldron wasn't concerning enough. Yeah.
And here is one of the less exciting ones. It's simply a caravan with Blightrot cyst on it. It's also a Blight event with some additional effects that interact with the system. Basically, these are basically two of the new events. There's going to be 5 of them in the game. I want to show you everything, but at the same time I don't want to show you everything. I'm gonna tease that there is a infected mole event in the game right now. There is also Rainpunk Noxious Machinery, which is like the Blightrot version of Rainpunk Machinery. And the last one is, I can't remember right now. Wait.
Yeah, I can quickly check it in the update notes in a second. And by the way, update notes will be available tomorrow when the update goes live on Steam and our website. I think we're slowly getting towards the end of this cursed stream, so we don't want to spoil all the fun. I think we've already shown some cool things, like the fact that there will be a species vote coming tomorrow. There's a Blightrod version of the Leaking Cauldron, Blightrod version of the Mole. You didn't see it, but trust me, it's there. It's gonna scare you tomorrow. Yeah, let's show once again the community vote and a little bit more about the community vote. So how it's gonna work. When you open the game tomorrow, you should be able to see this button if you unlocked Harpies. So you need to purchase, you need to get to level 5. The reward for getting level 5. Yeah, once you level up from level 5 to level 6. Or level 4 to level 5.
I think it's level once you reach level.
Anyways, you need to unlock Harpies first. So you need to have all species unlocked, and then you will be able to vote for a new species. There's no option to vote for all 3 of them. Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny that there's a pixelated image and it's XXX, like, yeah, one of those things you don't want to show on Twitch. But you will be only able to vote for one of the species. So, you know, take the time to consider, because once you vote, you cannot change your mind. Okay, so before you vote tomorrow, make sure to read the description. Fantasize about the species and what it can bring to the game. The descriptions will be kind of vague, but they should still give you some ideas how each of those species could work in the game, because they all have different fantasies. So aside from their like visual looks, they also will bring a little bit different kind of play styles to the game.
Yeah, so we had a problem with choosing our favorite here in the team also before the vote. So it's going to be interesting to see how you guys choose what you choose here. It's going to start tomorrow after the look set. And we'll see what wins, and we'll keep you updated about the progress on that given species.
Okay, so I think we're gonna end right now. So it's rapid fire questions. If there's anything you want to know, now is the time to ask. Sorry, it turned out this way today. We had some technical issues. Sorry about that, but I hope you still enjoyed today's live stream. Okay, Ermite Games, one last question. How many species do you guys aim for in the future? Hard to tell, honestly, hard to tell. The 5th one is confirmed on the early access roadmap, so you are getting the 5th species for sure. The total number of species, honestly, hard to tell. We don't know if there will be added during early access. If there will be added during early access, I don't think so, honestly. There's no development room for new species. So if any, there could be added in DLCs, but for now we don't really have any plans for DLCs. We focus on early access, on delivering those bi-weekly content updates, and believe me, there's really little time to work on anything else. So yeah, if there would be more species, it's hard to tell yet how many of those. Of course, we would love to see as many of them as possible, but there's little time and a lot of things to add to the game. If we switch to the dev branch today, will it affect our current saves? So how experimental branch works is that it has a completely separate save file. So when you switch to experimental version to play a little bit more of the Rainpunk update part 2, although on the experimental branch there's only limited content, so you won't see all the new events. So back to the question. Experimental branch keeps separate save files, and you cannot complete achievements on the experimental branch. But on the other hand, you have access to the whole developer console, so you can test things like we did today. You can spawn creatures, you can get all the food you want. My favorite is add effect, ancient artifact, and yeah, and keep copying it. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Please remember to finish your settlements, otherwise they will be forced finished. Once again, thank you for watching today's stream. There will be cool stuff waiting for you tomorrow between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. UTC. Think about the species, which one you'd like to see in the game, and after a few days, weeks probably, we'll give you some time to work, to vote. We'll present you the results of the vote, and we will spend the next couple of weeks or months, more likely months, working on the new species. If I were to guess, the species that will win will be available in the game around late April. Okay, so once again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for following us. Thank you for giving us your support, your ideas, feedback, bug reports. We truly appreciate it, and we keep doing our best to deliver quality updates. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.